Allie Craig happily walks her foster dog, Sunshine, down the road when a customer, Corrine, stops her to ask for plant recommendations. Then there's Jake Terry, who has just returned from military camp and is greeted warmly by his family. Later, at Allie's nursery, her ex-fiancé Ben shows up, much to Allie's discomfort. Despite their breakup over 2 months ago, he insists her nursery is the best place to get plants for his business. He apologizes for how things ended and asks to talk over dinner. Back home, Jake bonds with his family, and his brother Sam asks when he'll pick up Sunshine. Apparently, she's his military dog who's been retired and sent stateside. Despite the months apart, Jake still feels a strong connection with her. The next day, Jake calls Allie to thank her for taking care of Sunshine and arranges to pick her up. Allie, who has grown attached to the dog, dreads the separation. Later, while Allie talks to Sunshine about missing her, Ben arrives, surprised to hear Allie speaking to the dog like a person. He introduces his clients, Denver and Trisha Collins, who want to redesign their landscape. Ben takes Denver to check the pavers, leaving Trisha with Allie to pick plants. Trisha admits she wants a different design than Ben planned and persuades Allie to visit her house to give her opinion. After some coaxing, Allie agrees. At home, Jake's ex, Donna, apologizes for ending things with him through a letter while he was at camp. Jake understands and doesn't hold it against her, though he firmly shuts down her attempt at rekindling a friendship. Later, on his way to pick up Sunshine, Jake's mom, Margot, reminds him to get Allie a gift. He stops by Allie's nursery, unbeknownst to him, and buys a plant. When he arrives at her house, he's thrilled to see Sunshine, and they share a heartwarming military-style greeting. Jake introduces himself to Allie, presenting the plants, and she recognizes them from her nursery. He notices her design sketches for Trisha's yard and compliments her talent. After seeing the bond between Allie and Sunshine, Jake suggests they take one last walk together, which Allie gladly agrees to. During the walk, Allie opens up about how Sunshine came into her life during a tough time, after her ex-fiancé ended their engagement over the phone. Jake shares that he was dumped by letter, and they realize they have more in common than just a dog. Back at her house, Allie packs Sunshine's things and says her goodbyes before Jake leaves with her. Just as she realizes they forgot to sign the American Humane Papers, she tries to call Jake, but he's already gone. Allie visits Trisha's house as promised, giving her design suggestions for the yard. Although Allie thinks Ben might have better ideas, Trisha loves Allie's own better. At home, Margot adores Sunshine, and Jake gets a call from Allie about the forgotten papers. Jake offers to come by the next day to sign them and give Allie some time with Sunshine, which excites her. The following day, Jake signs the papers, and Allie offers him Sunshine's outdoor blanket. She also mentions her unfinished deck, which was due to Ben, and Jake surprises her by offering to finish the work. Later, Allie and Emma spend some quality time together, and Allie admits it's been a while since they've relaxed like this. Emma points out that Allie lost her voice with Ben, who always insisted on doing things his way. Allie shares that Ben feels guilty, and Emma wonders if Allie is thinking of getting back together with him. Allie eventually admits she still feels something for him. Emma, concerned about Allie making the same mistake with Ben, reminds her that she's a wonderful person who deserves better. Back home, Margot worries about Jake's involvement with Allie, fearing he might get hurt again. But Jake reassures her it's just a gesture of thanks. The next morning, Ben calls and asks Allie to dinner, hoping for a reconciliation. Although Allie feels there's nothing left between them, she agrees to meet him for lunch. Just then, Jake and Sunshine arrive, causing Allie to end the call. While working on the deck together, Allie admits that Jake's encouragement inspired her to finish it. She had planned to leave it undone as a symbol of bad judgment, but Jake says it's now a symbol of moving on, making her smile. Allie curiously asks Jake about his experience in military camp, and he shares that while it was tough, he met great people, including Sunshine. He then asks how she ended up with a nursery, and Allie explains her lifelong love of plants. Jake is impressed by how she knows what she wants, admitting he didn't figure it out until he joined the military. Although he's grateful for his service, Jake reveals his passion for woodworking. Later, as Allie walks Jake to the car, they share an awkward moment trying to hug, knowing this is their final goodbye. Jake then invites Allie to their family dinner so she can get to know where Sunshine will be staying. Later, Ben arrives at the nursery and explains he's struggling with the Collins design since Trisha wants something different. He insists on having dinner with Allie, and after some hesitation, she agrees, much to Emma's disappointment. Allie reassures Emma that she's only agreeing to get closure. Back at home, Jake reminds Margot that Allie will be joining their family dinner. However, Sam suggests Jake should let Allie move on from Sunshine. He also mentions Donna wants another chance with Jake, but Jake insists he's moved on. Sam shares that Donna will be doing the books for their company, but Jake isn't worried. After all, they're friends, just like Allie has become his friend too. The next morning, Allie is surprised to find the hand railing at the nursery fixed, assuming it's Ben's work. However, it's Jake, who did it the night before. She thanks him over the phone, insisting he doesn't have to keep helping her. Jake brushes it off, saying he enjoys doing nice things for those who do the same for him. He sets a date to finish the deck before ending the call. Emma teases Allie about Jake's growing feelings, but Allie insists it's just his nature, although it seems she's starting to feel something too. Later, Allie sends Trisha the final design, excited about the job. Over lunch with Ben, he tries to win her back, claiming he still loves her and doesn't want to lose her. But as he orders his favorite dessert for both of them, Allie realizes she'll never be heard by his side. The next day, Jake finishes the deck, and he, Allie, and Sunshine head to the park for a walk. Sunshine has a blast playing with other dogs, getting messy, so Jake and Allie give her a bath together, enjoying the simple moment. The next day, while watering plants, Allie gets a call from Trisha, who loves her design and wants to meet. Emma is thrilled, seeing it as a chance for Ben to recognize Allie's talent. Later, Trisha shares her excitement about Allie's design and tells her that she'll be executing it since Denver wants to focus on the front porch with Ben. Allie hesitates, feeling it's too much for her, but Trisha reassures her, saying everything will work as long as she has the vision. Allie agrees, boosted by Trisha's confidence in her. Meanwhile, Sam pushes Jake to talk to Donna, pointing out that he's only been talking about Sunshine since returning. Sam informs him that Donna still has feelings for him, and after some prodding, Jake reluctantly agrees to talk to her. At the nursery, Emma thinks Allie should tell Ben she's doing half of the Collins project, fearing he'll hear it from the couple first. It's definitely rare to see Emma speak positively about Ben. Later, Allie gathers the courage to call Ben for coffee, but he suggests dinner instead. That evening, Jake and Donna coincidentally dine at the same restaurant as Allie and Ben. Allie shares the job offer from Trisha, but Ben insists she submit the design so he can make changes. Allie clarifies that Trisha loves her idea and wants her to do the backyard while Ben handles the front. Ben immediately feels she's stolen part of his project, pointing out her lack of experience. Allie, frustrated by Ben's constant dismissal of her ideas, suggests they could work together, but Ben disagrees. Jake excuses himself from Donna and checks on Allie. She introduces him as Sunshine's handler, which sets Ben off. He storms out, demanding Allie closes his account because he's decided to take his business elsewhere. Jake tries to apologize for ruining things, but Allie brushes it off. However, when she realizes he's on a date, she feels uneasy and decides to leave, insisting he go back to his date. At home, Jake feels sad and expresses his feelings to Sunshine, concluding that Allie isn't available. The next day, Allie admits to Emma that she's conflicted about attending Jake's family dinner, making Emma reassure her that she's there for support. At the dinner, Jake is pleasantly surprised to see Allie. He apologizes for the other night, but Allie insists he came at the right time. She explains the situation with Ben, and Jake understands, though he worries it might complicate Allie's chances of getting back together with Ben. Allie quickly clarifies that she has no intention of rekindling things. Margot arrives just then, and Allie gifts her a plant. Margot happily welcomes her as part of the family and suggests they take Sunshine for a walk before the party begins. During the walk, Allie expresses gratitude that Jake hasn't cut Sunshine off, and Jake offers that she's welcome to visit anytime since they've become friends. At the party, Allie confesses she doesn't feel ready to take on the job since she doesn't know any construction crews other than Ben's. Jake suggests they could work together since he runs a construction company with Sam, which lifts Allie's spirits, and she eagerly agrees. Later, Allie feels a pang of jealousy when she sees Jake and Donna together. Donna then approaches Allie, introduces herself, and admits Jake hasn't stopped talking about her. She confesses that while she once hoped to get back with Jake, she now realizes he has feelings for Allie. Surprised, Allie insists Jake only sees her as a friend, but Donna reassures her it's the opposite before leaving. Jake approaches moments later, curious about her conversation with Donna. Allie jokes that they were talking about how smart dogs are and picking who they like. Jake admits that humans know who they like too, though some take longer to act on it. This leads to a quiet, emotional moment between them, just as the fireworks light up the sky. Allie is mesmerized by the beautiful view, but Jake is mesmerized by her instead. In the heat of the moment, they lean in for a passionate kiss beneath the fireworks, making the night even more romantic. Over the next few weeks, Trisha's yard design progresses well, and Allie's relationship with Jake blossoms. Jake surprises Allie with a romantic outdoor dinner date in a breathtaking setting. Jake simply wants to celebrate the moment with her, no special occasion needed, sealing their love with a passionate kiss. The next day at Trisha's yard, Allie gives a heartfelt speech, thanking the crew for their hard work and acknowledging Sunshine for helping her rediscover herself. Jake also thanks Sunshine for bringing Allie into his life. The following day, Ben visits the nursery, complimenting Allie on her design for Trisha's yard. Allie returns the compliment, and while Ben admits they're not right for each other, he suggests they could still do business together, which Allie appreciates. Later, Sam asks Jake about his relationship with Allie, and Jake admits they're taking things slow. However, he soon receives a call informing him that his team is being called back for service. Now that's a bummer. The next day, Jake visits Allie to break the news. He insists he can't bear the thought of her waiting for him, knowing from experience it won't work, and decides to end things with her because he loves her too much to hurt her. Allie, emotionally torn, tells Jake he's making a mistake and insists it's her choice to wait, but Jake can't bear to put her in that position. He walks away, leaving her in tears. At home, Jake confides in Margot, and she advises him to let Allie be part of the decision. Although their relationship is new, Margot urges Jake to take a leap of faith, as life doesn't always follow a clear path. The next morning, Allie, still deeply affected, calls to inquire if a soldier can be reunited with the dog he served with. Meanwhile, Jake confides in Sam about his uncertainty. With only a week before his redeployment, he wants to see Allie, but doesn't want to hurt her. Jake can't believe he's being called back just when he's found someone to share his future with. Sam comforts him, reminding him that no one knows what the future holds. The next day, Emma delivers a note from Sam to Allie, which makes her emotional. On the day of his redeployment, Jake says his goodbyes at the military base, only to be surprised by Allie's arrival. Margot pulls him aside, urging him not to let Allie slip away. She recognizes the love he has for Allie, reminiscent of the love her late husband had before going to serve his country. With conviction, she hands Jake her wedding ring, urging him to do the same with Allie. Jake walks up to Allie and tells her he learned she tried to send Sunshine with him. Allie, who only wants him to be safe, believes Sunshine would take good care of him. Jake admits that Allie is the most important person in his life and entrusts her to Sunshine instead. He then gets down on one knee and proposes, admitting that despite knowing her for a short time, he can't imagine his life without her. Overcome with emotion, Allie happily agrees to be his wife. Jake slides the ring onto her finger, sealing their commitment with a passionate kiss, surrounded by family and friends. They eventually marry, with Sunshine living happily with them.